Sun Tzu once wrote a line so simple, so quiet, that most people read straight past it. When you are strong, appear weak. He didn't shout it. He didn't decorate it. He didn't explain it. And that silence is intentional. Because strategies meant to protect power are never loud. They're never obvious. They're never explained in detail to the masses. Inside that single sentence is a survival mechanism that has outlived empires. Sun Tzu wasn't talking about muscles. He wasn't talking about armies alone. And he wasn't talking about poverty in the modern financial sense. He was talking about perception, about how power is seen, about how power is protected, about how power survives long enough to matter. Most people grow up believing strength should be visible, that success should be obvious, that wealth should be displayed as proof. But Sun Tzu lived in a world where visible strength attracted coalitions, where showing power invited betrayal, where victory often belonged to the side that appeared harmless the longest. Today, we're going to explore why the smartest people in history learned to look poor, why showing wealth, success, or power too early almost always backfires, and why in a world obsessed with flexing, posting, and being seen, the quietest people often win. This is not about pretending you're broke. This is not about false humility. This is about camouflage. And once you understand this, you'll start noticing how real power moves. Silently, patiently, and out of sight. Section 1. Why people misunderstand Sun Tzu. Most people read Sun Tzu the way they read a fortune cookie. They skim, they extract a line, they strip it of context. But Sun Tzu was not writing philosophy for reflection. He was writing field manuals for commanders whose decisions meant life or death. Every line in The Art of War is compressed experience. It's written bloodlessly, but earned violently. When strong, appear weak. Modern readers interpret this as humility, as politeness, as emotional intelligence. That interpretation feels safe, because it removes danger from the idea, but Sun Tzu was not interested in manners. He was interested in outcomes. In his world, appearing strong triggered alliances against you. Neighboring states would coordinate. Generals would defect. Spies would multiply. Strength seen too early was a liability. Think of it like poker. The moment you reveal your hand, the game changes. Everyone adjusts. Sun Tzu understood that perception shapes behavior, and behavior shapes reality. The goal was never to be strong. The goal was to win. Section 2. Looking rich makes you poor. There is a paradox in modern life that people rarely stop to question. Those who look the richest often have the least freedom. They are watched, measured, judged. Sun Tzu would recognize this immediately. In ancient China, generals who displayed wealth openly were suspected of ambition. Ambition threatened rulers, and threatened rulers eliminate threats. Visibility came with consequences. Fast forward to today. When you look rich, you attract attention. Attention attracts expectations, and expectations quietly drain leverage. People assume you don't need help. They assume you can absorb losses. They assume you should pay more. Even worse, envy enters the equation. Envy doesn't always look like hatred. Often, it looks like indifference. Delayed responses, quiet obstruction. Opportunities mysteriously dry up. Support becomes conditional. Sun Tzu would say this plainly. Why announce advantage when silence preserves it? Looking rich doesn't make you powerful. It makes you visible. Section 3. War is deception. Life is no different. Sun Tzu opens The Art of War with a sentence that sounds abstract until you sit with it. All warfare is based on deception. Not tactics, not bravery, not numbers. Deception. This wasn't philosophy. It was observation. Sun Tzu had seen armies lose not because they were weak, but because they were predictable. Because their intentions were visible, because their confidence was obvious. To Sun Tzu, Deception did not mean lying outright. It meant shaping the enemy's understanding of reality. If your opponent believes you are weak, they advance carelessly. If they believe you are strong, they hesitate. If they believe you are disorganized, they underestimate. The battlefield is decided long before swords meet. Now remove the weapons. What remains is life. Corporate environments operate the same way. So do negotiations. So do careers. When a colleague believes you are harmless, they speak openly around you. When a competitor believes you are behind, they reveal their plans. When a boss believes you are satisfied, they stop watching you. Being underestimated is not an insult. It is a strategic advantage. Think of a chess match. The most dangerous player is not the one staring aggressively across the board. It's the one quietly developing pieces while the opponent relaxes. Sun Tzu understood that open confrontation invites resistance, but quiet positioning invites mistakes, and mistakes win wars. Section 4. The dangers of looking powerful too soon. Revealing power too early is like lighting a torch in a dark forest. You can see farther, but so can everyone else. Sun Tzu repeatedly warned against premature displays of strength. In ancient warfare, an army that revealed its full size too early allowed enemies to form coalitions. Smaller states would unite. Neutral parties would choose sides. Strength created fear. Fear created alliances, and alliances destroyed isolated power. Modern life follows the same pattern. Announce success too early, and expectations multiply. Announce ambition too loudly, and resistance forms. Colleagues begin watching instead of cooperating. Competitors begin preparing instead of ignoring. Most people believe they fail because they lack strength. Sun Tzu believed people fail because they reveal strength at the wrong time. Power shown before it is irreversible invites counter moves. That is why Sun Tzu emphasized timing. Strike when victory is already secured. Reveal power only when resistance is impossible. Section 5. Modern examples of strategic invisibility. To understand Sun Tzu's relevance today, you have to stop looking at motivational speakers and start looking at systems. Real power rarely introduces itself. Look at large organizations. The person with the loudest title is rarely the one who controls outcomes. It's often the quiet executive, the senior advisor, the person who never posts, never brags, and never explains what they do. They sit in meetings and say very little. But when they speak, decisions move. This is strategic invisibility. Sun Tzu wrote about commanders who deliberately appeared average. They wore plain armor. They avoided ceremony. Why? Because extraordinary leaders attracted extraordinary scrutiny. In modern terms, this is the difference between new money and old money. New money displays success to prove it exists. Old power assumes survival depends on discretion. One seeks attention, the other avoids it. Sun Tzu understood that attention collapses optionality. When people know who you are and what you want, they can block you. When they don't, you move freely. Looking unremarkable is not a lack of confidence. It is strategic patience. Section 6. Psychology. Why looking poor disarms people. Human beings are deeply hierarchical. We adjust our behavior instinctively based on where we believe we stand. When we think someone outranks us, we perform. We guard words. We hide intentions. When we think someone is beneath us, we relax. Sun Tzu exploited this psychological reflex. An enemy who relaxes makes mistakes. Looking poor or weak lowers defenses. People speak casually. They complain openly. They boast. They reveal fears, frustrations, and plans without realizing it. This is why undercover officers don't look powerful. This is why interrogators act unthreatening. Sun Tzu valued intelligence above force because force is costly. Information allows victory without resistance. Looking harmless turns conversation into confession. And once people show you who they are, you don't need to fight them. Section 7. The biggest mistake people make. The greatest strategic mistake people make is impatience. They want recognition before results. They want validation during the climb, not after the summit. They want others to see effort. They want proof that their struggle is noticed. They want reassurance that they are ahead. Sun Tzu would see this as revealing position. In warfare, position is not just location. It is intention. It is capability. It is timing. Once your position is revealed, others adjust. They prepare defenses. They form alliances. They anticipate your moves. Modern life works the same way. Announce a project too early, and competitors appear. Announce ambition too loudly, and resistance forms. Announce success too soon, and expectations multiply. People stop helping. They start watching. They start comparing. Noise feels like confidence, but noise is exposure. The louder you are, the easier you are to track. Sun Tzu understood that silence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty slows opponents down. When people are unsure, they hesitate. When they hesitate, you gain time. Many people fail not because they lack strength. They fail because they show strength before it is irreversible. Silence is not weakness. Silence is positioning. Section 8. How to apply this without pretending. This strategy is often mistaken for deception. It is not about lying. It is about restraint. You do not need to pretend to be incapable. You do not need to fake humility. You simply need to stop oversharing. Sun Tzu advised leaders to allow enemies to misjudge them, not by spreading false information, but by offering very little information at all. In modern life, this means letting people assume you are ordinary. It means resisting the urge to correct underestimation. It means staying calm when others overlook you. This is difficult because ego wants recognition, but strategy values advantage. Speak less than you know, reveal less than you can do, share results late, prepare quietly, build leverage without announcing it. When the moment comes, act decisively. Do not over-explain, do not justify, do not seek applause. Sun Tzu believed the best victories feel sudden, because all preparation happened out of sight. Section 9. The final truth. Sun Tzu understood a truth that modern culture resists. Power does not need to announce itself. It positions quietly. The most dangerous person in the room is rarely the loudest. It is the one no one is watching. History repeats this lesson. The rulers who survived avoided spectacle. The families that kept wealth avoided attention. The commanders who won consistently avoided glory. Visibility creates pressure. Pressure invites resistance. Resistance shortens control. Modern culture teaches the opposite. It rewards exposure. It celebrates visibility. It confuses attention with power. Sun Tzu would see this as a trap. Power that lasts is subtle. Wealth that endures is quiet. Influence that survives is indirect. Looking poor is not weakness. It is camouflage. Camouflage buys time. Camouflage delays opposition. Camouflage preserves freedom of movement, and time is the ultimate advantage. The patient gain leverage. The quiet gain control. The unseen decide outcomes. If this way of thinking resonates with you, if you value strategy over noise, and patience over performance, then like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Not for motivation, but for understanding, because power favors those who study it quietly.